Welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast with author Sarah F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival fiction and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sarah F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
All right, well, hello and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 283, and there's no, well, I guess we're in season 8. Usually I say a season and a number, but, you know, we're breaking off from the books now. We're going rogue.
It is coming to the end of 2020.
Yeah, I know. Like, everything changed in
All
2020.
caution to the wind.
Yeah, exactly. So, my name is Sarah, my partner Chen. Hey, Chen, what's up?
Hey, chin's up.
So we put together a little bit of survival fact and fiction here on the Changing Earth podcast. I write a novel series called the Changing Earth series, and this year we're turning it into an audio drama. It's going to be a ton of fun. The episodes are so great, Chen. I'm telling you, I've been having so much fun putting these together. It's just outstanding, the cast that we put together, and then just how cool they're turning out. So
now you're just teasing us all.
I know. I'm only one who gets to hear them so far because I've produced them, and so I'm really far in the story. I can tell you what, it's good stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just having a ball with it. Oh, sounds like your dog's not really happy that we're on the mic right now.
Oh, no. You know how,
Yeah.
She rules the world.
She's the ruler of the roost. So, yeah, I'm trying to get Shadow a little bit more comfortable with people so she can come to prepper camp with us next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
No way in heck I'm bringing my little beast over there.
Right? I know. Shadow loves people, so I don't know. I'm trying to get her more used to it right now. So, guys, let's do a little clearinghouse. We got a couple of sponsors. MyDisasterSupply.com. That's a great site for go bags, evacuation kits, things like that. So check out MyDisasterSupply.com. Prepare with Changing Earth is our link to My Patriot Supply. So if you're in need of survival food, you got to go hook it up over at PrepareWithChangingEarth.com.
Or water filters.
Or water.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, the AquaPure systems are awesome. So, and then if you go over to my site at ChangingEarthSeries.com, we have the membership program over there, and it helps the Changing Earth world go round. Plus, you get early access to the audio drama and just a ton of goodies that I have in the emails to you guys. So, books, survival guides, things like that. So, go over there and get hooked up with that. All right, so I didn't want to clutter up the show with any more marketing stuff because we're gonna get into it today. We've been kind of, we've been kind of doing a little pause. Yeah, a little foreshadowing. That's the author of me. We've been taking a little pause on politics and world events and focusing back on our preparedness a little bit just because the need was severely there to focus back there. So, but it's time to kind of let the cat out of the bag and talk a little bit about our country because it's a beautiful place and we definitely don't want to see it go anywhere. So that's why I wanted to get back to business today. And you liked my video.
You sent a bunch. I spent my whole afternoon watching videos.
I know. Well, the one is where I want to focus.
A long one, yeah.
Yeah,
you sent
yeah.
two long ones. Well, one really, 2 hours and another hour.
I took notes on the. So, I sent the other one to you. When did I send that one? Yesterday?
I got them both today.
Oh, you got another one today?
I got 2. Yeah, I got the documentary that was like just under 2 hours, 140.
Yeah, that one.
And then I got the normal size video that was like under an hour.
Oh, is that like
about the McKay guy?
Oh, that's where you were coming with that. I was like, what is he talking about? This isn't even in the video.
No, you sent me that one. I was like, Yeah, I could see some, but he's kind of painting with a broad stroke here.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
So-
I'm like, what did I send you? Yeah. So I don't know about James's. I don't know about the Jaeger's assessment there. I guess I could buy that
Oh
for
yeah,
$1. but-
Jaeger.
Yeah. So, if you guys don't know, James Yeager, he's an awesome dude, shooting instructor, and just a phenomenal all-around guy. You get a kick out of his YouTube channel if you've never checked that out before. So, make sure you check that
It's
out.
funny. Don't take him off in the comments.
Oh
He will
no,
ban your butt. You will never watch another video.
you will never. Don't take him off at all. Just ever. I mean, mind your manners. Be
I was
good.
on my best behavior when we had him on the show.
Right? Yeah.
He will hunt me down.
Like, you better just be good with you when he's around. Be
He's a cool guy,
respectful,
though.
be a good
He's
guy.
super cool.
Yeah, he is a super cool guy. So
But he's funny. He didn't pull any punches.
man, like 15 minutes, and you think like he said nothing to you, and you're like, wow, I could take 4 pages of notes on what he just said to me. That was crazy.
You know what he said to you, Sarah? Don't drive through the water.
Don't drive through the water.
It's
Yeah,
been months, and that's still my takeaway from that show.
I
No,
got
Sarah.
it now. I got
Don't
it
drive through
loud
the
and
water.
clear. So the graphic I have up right now is about the audio drama, and like I say, it's airing for members January 14th, and yeah, so members get a week free, and then all these phenomenal people are on it. They're just all great and doing.
You have like
awesome.
the whole prepping community.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
saw the cool kids.
right. All the cool ones. They're all there. So this is the video that we're talking about. I couldn't get a good front picture of it, like they
Yeah.
do the good graphic. I couldn't get it to come up, and I was having so much technical issues anyway today that I was like, you know what? Forget it. I was about ready to take my notes.
Well, their video is, you could see it's kind of like an ad and then a bottom banner, and it's just a little bit of the
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. I played it up on my TV or on my computer,
Yeah.
and that way I could see it better because
Yeah.
I'm a big visual person.
Yeah.
So this is the
That
video.
one was interesting.
Yeah, way interesting. And so some of the statistics that we've gone through, that we're going to go through, this is not the only place that I've seen them. It's just this presentation of the information was like the most cohesive piece of information that I've seen, where he really connected all the puzzle pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wanted to present this video today. That way everybody just gets a good, like, cohesive grip on what's going on. Okay. So I did a PowerPoint presentation for you guys so that you can see what I'm talking about. And my computer's like, no, I'm not doing that right now. Hold on 1 second. I'm telling you, man. Technical issues. I'm always like, come on, live people, what are you doing when I'm watching videos? And I'm like, yep, totally got it. Totally understand now. I hate this technology stuff. I'm like, man, I spent all this time making up like this cool thing we could go through. And now it's going to decide just not to show itself on my list of options here. Okay, let me try one more thing.
You need to pop in the link to that.
Oh,
So people could fire it up.
okay. Yeah. So
Just do a copy and paste into the chat.
Alright. Yeah. Because this video, guys, it's going to take you some time to go through.
Yeah.
And then if you're like me, you'll want to watch it again. And then I took like 8 pages of notes on it because I don't trust the YouTube and all that to not take it down. So make sure that you get over there and check it out while you can. So,
Yeah. And I thought I could multitask, but it was kind of a video you didn't want to multitask.
No. Yeah, this one you got to actually like give it your
Yeah.
attention. So.
The only thing I managed was emptying the dishwasher with it on. Everything else I had to stop.
Yeah, I had this all set up before we even started, and now my program's not even coming up at all.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah, but people make sure. Yeah, grab that.
Yeah.
Grab that link, people, and give it a listen or watch.
Okay.
It made me want to do. You see, I popped that. I started to do some like my own research on that one because I was. They start talking about like how many, like at 4 o'clock in the morning the numbers just popped and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that made like, what are the real numbers for like registered voters and how, you know?
Right.
How,
like, is that even possible?
Yeah, that's where my mind went. I'm like,
right, and that's what they've shown
and stuff, and I was like, how plausible was this jump? You know, like 100,000 people dropped all for Biden. You know, it's like, how many people were registered in that state?
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, it's just really, really frustrating that.
Don't worry about it. We can
Yeah, we're gonna move on. I gotta
break out the notes. If people just need to click on that link and.
Yeah. And go check out the movie.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to watch it anyway.
Yeah,
because we won't
really
be able to. An hour and 40 minutes. We can't play that for the whole show.
No.
Well, I guess we could, but
no. Well, we could, but no. And with all the new copyright stuff they have coming down the line,
right?
You never know what's going to happen.
Probably ban you if someone will give you the axe.
Yeah. Now this whole okay. All right, so we got the movie out. That's good enough. All right, so darn it, that was like I was gonna follow my stuff there. Okay, I'll bring it on my other computer so I can at least see it. All right, so my show today is going to be titled "America Bought and Sold" because I didn't personally realize. I don't know that any of us did. I think we're all asleep. We don't realize what's going on in the backdrop with all of our corporations and our politicians and the elitists.
And that banking thing.
Yeah. And how much it's just all tied together.
Mm-hmm.
Really scary stuff. So you guys got to watch this movie, and it was put together by Joshua Phillip. So big time thank you to him. He's an investigative reporter with the Epic Times, and just a huge thanks to him for putting it together. So the night of the election, if you were watching, you were just as stumped as everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, at 12:49, that's when Trump tweeted. That's when things like started going really wrong. Everybody saw the numbers just freeze, and we were like, well, what's going on? And when that was happening, Trump was like ahead everywhere, even in California. Okay. And
I think I went to bed at like 1 o'clock Eastern.
Right? Because everything
and I was still
kind of
feeling, you know, it was still felt like a horse race still, you know?
Right.
It wasn't it wasn't like throw your hands up. I just kind of like, I gotta go to bed. They're not calling anything.
Yeah. It's not going to happen tonight.
Yeah.
They set us up for that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Which was the really weird part. Like, they set us up for that to happen. They're like, oh, be prepared because this isn't going to be determined for months and blah, blah, blah. That's never happened in American history. Like, well, I don't know. Maybe it has, but, like, not recently, not my lifetime. We always know. November 3rd, right? Yay, the party, everything happens. But, no, not this time.
No, we had the Chad thing back in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, where they were reading.
The hanging Chads.
Yeah.
Is this hanging or not? Who's this for?
So
that was the only time I remember.
At 4 a.m., that's when it just kind of went back online, and by then, Trump's leads had disappeared.
Yeah.
And they Wisconsin and Michigan magically had 100,000 more votes for Biden then, at that time. And the news is like, oh no, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Move on. Nothing to what they even started, like hashtag move on or whatever. No. Okay. So they started researching the real-time data. It's provided by Edison Research, and they receive real-time data from each state. And within 7 seconds, Michigan just goes up like gets all those votes, like 149,000 more votes in 7 seconds, and 94% of them were for Biden.
I wish I could count that fast.
Right? Yeah, within 7 seconds. Wisconsin, at the same time, shows like the same thing happening. And that one happened in 5 minutes. And another 143,000 votes come in. Or no, another 168,000 votes come in, and 85% of those are for Biden. So, I mean, if that, like, is okay, so that's just one thing, right? So that's just 1 point.
And they're not like those weren't like pivotal states, right?
Right, yeah, those weren't like the serious ones, right? Yeah, no.
No swing state involved there.
Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, they show the same kind of activity happening. So then it goes on. And I heard this on the Dan Bongino show as well. I watch him a lot.
Dan rocks.
Yeah, Dan is freaking awesome. And he knows his stuff. And he's not afraid to, like, lay it out.
And he's been inside the swamp.
Right.
He worked inside
Multiple,
the swamp.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when people go to vote, some people do just vote for president and walk away. There's a certain percentage of times that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But when people continue their votes, the majority of the time, if they're voting for a certain president, then they're going to continue that same activity down ballot.
They vote the straight ticket usually.
Right. So it's very rare that, like, a Republican would win the Senate race and that Republican candidate for president wouldn't have taken the state as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they had anomalies of this happen in Michigan and Georgia. So the numbers were off. So this is basically comparing how many votes for Biden versus Trump and then versus what happened in the Senate race. So in Michigan, 10 times more votes came in for the Republican senator rather than and the Democratic president, right? So 10 times more. And in Georgia it was 117 times more. So that means they came in, they voted for Biden for president, and then voted Republican down ballot.
Oh, you know, I just don't believe it.
I don't believe that. I don't.
I would have been more.
And this is coming out of Pew
cheated,
Research. Like,
they were dumb cheaters because they should have cheated down the ballot too.
Yes.
They should have run the whole ballot because then it is then you could have said, well, more Democrats came out to vote, right?
Yes. Then Republican. So then then, you know, so they didn't even like research the historical data of voting and then make it match the historical data. So it's an anomaly, and this is all coming out of Pew Research, which is like our best. It's not, you know, swayed one direction or the other. It's just what it is. So that to me, and like I say, Dan was talking about that one. That was like the first flag that I heard about. And he's like, dude, this is just not possible. And those are not the only states where this is happening. And for the Senate to be, you know, all the Republicans kept their seats and gained, but the Republican president didn't win, that's just unheard of. It's just, that's an anomaly in itself. So with the mail-in ballots, those are traditionally like our best reliable, you know, mail-in ballots are mail-in ballots. This is off, not part of that video, but I've heard that they put a radioactive isotope into the actual ballots. And
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and they can all be tracked and stuff. That Homeland Security did that. So we'll see what happens with that. That's not part of this video, guys. It's not in here. It's not part of that evidence. That's, you know,
the other guy talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's the other video. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was talking about how they could track those. And so that's out there. But as far as the mail-in ballots go, we have so much testimony from so many eyewitnesses that you can't just sit there and be like, oh, they're all lying. There's only so much coincidence that can happen before it's scientifically impossible for it to be a coincidence anymore. I mean, That's just statistics and numbers.
And the other thing that was getting me is the media kept saying, there's no proof, there's no...
Yeah. There's no proof.
Well, yeah,
there's no fraud.
Some.
Don't look.
Maybe there's not as much as, one side might be crying more than the other side, but you can't... What kind of reporter would walk up to Mike and said, there's none,
Right. There's no evidence of this happening,
come on.
and you guys are all wrong. No, that's...
You can't tell me, no, there's none.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Right.
I mean,
people, even in a normal year, people are cheating. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that brings us, they have people who are like Democrats that were like, hey, what about the garbage bags back there? What are those? Oh, no, you can't talk about that. You can't film that. They took away the film and the pictures. Absolutely.
Yeah,
incredible.
that seemed all strange. I mean, if you have observers just to keep everything fair, and they're pushed, the closest they could get was 20 feet to the closest, and then there was,
and then there's tons of rows of machines
beyond
after.
there.
That's not being transparent. That's not, showing the process.
There should have been like catwalks that these people could have just been up on and just like looking down on everything.
Right.
Both parties. It should have been both Democrats.
Well, and that one dude, he was a Democrat.
Independents should have been all up there on the catwalk. Everybody should have been watching, and they should have said, table 5. I call table 5, and then have somebody walk over. I mean, I understand they don't want these people running all in and out. Too many people in there is going to create chaos, but they should have had a system to call, stop, and investigate, and then continue.
Yeah, and then the amount of rescanning that they saw and all that.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Was it Wisconsin where they were like, oh no, it was Georgia, that they stopped and asked everybody to leave, but 4 people stayed.
Not everybody.
Yeah, and they kept scanning out, and so that real-time data is reported. So they can sit there and see that the real-time data is still going, even though they've asked everybody to leave.
Yeah, that was crap.
Right? And no news media is going to pick this up. It's reported
you would
directly
think that'd
to
be
the news
they would have
media.
been hounds on a raw steak, to just go after that that's like a juicy story.
Right? Yeah, that's how you know America bought and sold. Because our news media is bought and sold.
So you should name the title of this episode.
I know, right?
Huh.
So, Matt Brainerd, that gentleman who's looking into all the data, was very interesting. And he was saying how, in Pennsylvania, you have to have a physical address to link the registered vote to. And
they did. It was an apartment.
Yeah, a P.O. box that they put down as an apartment.
Yep.
Or it was the physical address was a federal post office or a UPS or a right,
because you're supposed to put it ABC Street,
right,
post office box 10, but they put ABC Street apartment 10.
Exactly, and it was
and
very,
he pulled
very
up
fraudulent.
on Google Street and showed it was the front of a post office.
Yeah, and they found just looking into them, it's one after another, after another, after another. I mean, how can we not go back through and audit all this
they
stuff?
did the buckshot. They just took every way they could think of cheating. They pulled out all the stops.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and that was made me so mad about the media saying there's none.
Well,
We'll just pick one. There's plenty
tons.
of different. Yeah.
There's tons. And Wisconsin and Arizona, they found 26,000 ballots of people who had already left the state, but still voted by mail-in ballot. So none of those can be counted. And when your margin between the presidents is only 20,000 votes, that's a big deal.
I wonder if those people that left the state voted in the new state as well.
When they were contacted, they said they didn't do the mail-in ballot.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pick that up. I must have been clean at a dish or something at that moment.
Right.
Because
yeah.
when I heard him say that, then I was like, maybe they screwed up, and I'm trying to give a little,
Yeah, like a little leeway. No, they were like contacting people and be like, "Did you vote in Arizona as well?" And they're like, "No." Yeah. So they have like all this information.
But people were harvesting ballots.
Mm-hmm.
I heard talk. I mean, I don't know how much is true and how much is just whatever, but I heard talk about, people were going around like nursing homes collecting the ballots before they handed them to the people living there, the residents, and then and filling them out.
Oh yeah, I heard about that as well. That there
kind
was
of harvesting ballots.
Oh, and they were like all turned in at once.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So, like, here, you want some Jell-O?
Yeah.
I'll give you Jell-O.
So then the other thing, Patrick Colbeck, he's the former Michigan senator, and he was in charge of overseeing. He was part of the election committee and poll changer. Man, he knows his tech stuff, because I was like, what? What is he talking about with some of these machines and stuff? Well, he was saying that it is absolutely against the Michigan state constitution to have those machines hooked to the internet.
Wasn't he saying he was like crawling under the table looking where the cables went?
Yeah.
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 He was like, this is going to a router, going to another router, going to a firewall. He's
and
like,
hooking
I know
to the
what
internet.
this one's doing. Yeah.
And Dominion in their software system state that it has to be hooked to the internet. So it's like, whoa.
Didn't they say that? Well, didn't Michigan or the state said that it's not allowed to be hooked while tallying's being done?
Yes, right. That it can't be hooked while the tabulation's being done, and they must be transferred by USB drive.
Yep.
Well,
so that's supposed to be the fail-safe. Is that
right?
There's an air gap.
There's all kinds of messages, error messages, where those machines were actually connected to the internet, and anything that's connected to the internet can be hacked.
Yep.
Beyond that, before the 2020 election, how about that professor from Michigan? Oh, what was his name? J. Alex Holgerman. In 2018, he put out a video of how easy it is to hack machines to show students like how vulnerable they are and all that.
There was that lady in the video that did it right there. She goes, you don't need any tools, no screwdrivers. You just pop this out.
Right, CNN.
You reset it, you turn it off, turn it back on without putting this back in. Boom. And you're in. And then you have admin rights.
And you have admin rights. Exactly. Yep. So, like CNN, they were putting this all out before 2020. Now, this same specialist comes out and he's like, nah, it's safe.
Does he have a nice house in the Hamptons now? Do you get paid off?
Oh, I don't understand why you guys don't trust the government. What? Why? Well, dude, come on. Like, I don't know. And Google's totally doing the cover up. So if you search for any of this information, you're not going to find it there. You got to go to like a different search engine where they'll actually show you what was the information back then. Because now it's all about the cover up. So Dominion is used in 28 states and Puerto Rico per their website. They tabulate 40% of all of the votes in the United States.
It's a good American company. I got no problems with that, right?
Yeah. 65 of 83 counties in Michigan use it. 2.2 million voters in Arizona depend on it, and 159 counties in Georgia. So, and these are
that seems to line up with some other interesting stats, doesn't it?
Right? Oh yeah, but it's secure. It's good. Don't worry.
Didn't they use that Dominion system to help overthrow elections in foreign countries?
Venezuela? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Test runs.
So, Patrick Colbeck, he was also like, look, all these glitches in the Dominion system, he doesn't believe they're actually glitches. He believes that that's built in so you can switch votes and manipulate the software that's tabulating things. They did full write-ups about how easy the stuff is to hack, how we need to have more secure systems and better audit systems and things like that. Everything was completely ignored, of course. And the patches. So they put in these special patches for the software, like right before the 2020 election. And all of Dominion's software is closed source. So nobody has access to that. You can't go and read that code and see what's happening with it. So if you're like trying to prevent a conspiracy theory, well, that is not a great way to do it right there.
Yeah, there's so much wrong with that.
Right? I mean, this is our votes. It should be completely open. There should be no, like, anything hidden when it comes to our voting process. This is what keeps our country great.
If anything, the only thing hidden could be the person's name to the general public, but not to, like, the fact check, because it's supposed to be a, whatever, supposed to be able to cast your vote without fear of reprisal,
Right.
So, like, if I put Trump, then I should be able to vote for Trump and only tell somebody I voted for Trump if I want to. Maybe if all your friends were Biden voters and you didn't want to, like, get beat up at the Christmas party,
Then, exactly.
You want to vote Trump, but then you don't tell who you voted for, or you kind of infer that you might have voted otherwise. But so the fact check, there should be somebody that knows, just so they can confirm you're a registered voter, you live where you live,
what
and
software is going on.
you've only voted once.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But it shouldn't be public knowledge on.
Well, and there was the girl in Michigan that got like 7 mail-in ballots. And then she goes to vote in person and they say, "Oh, you already cast your ballot."
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So, yeah, and we have got lots of experts on it that are like, look, this is not good. So the salami method, that really got me a little bit confused, actually. So it's like if you had interest in the bank and it's under a penny, they're not going to tell you that you have that money in the bank till you get the full penny. So they're saying with the voting systems, when the votes start coming in, they only start as percentages. So if it's not like a full percent, then they don't count that vote yet.
They round, yeah.
Right. So, so I don't know. Yeah, I saw that. Hopefully I took care of my echo. Sorry, guys. That was a bad tech night. So, so they can shave that percentage and keep tabulating it towards the other candidate, which eventually takes a lot of votes away from the candidate that they were supposed to be for.
You try to take the steam out of the other parties.
Yeah. And what was really interesting, they saw this in action in real time, that Trump had 1,690,000 votes in Pennsylvania, and Biden had 1,252,000. And then 30 seconds later, Trump has 1,670 votes, and Biden has 1,272. So technically, your vote should never, ever go down. Right? Like, people didn't, withdraw their votes. They should only be going up. And they have live footage of that on CNN on voting night.
Yeah.
That was a trick. That is like evidence right there in your face. I mean...
No, there's no proof.
So...
The talking heads have said it time and time again on the newscast. There's no proof.
Right? Yeah. So... darn this tech. I'm telling you. I was so excited about this show, too. And I'm just...
I think we've been hacked.
I know. Right?
They've been trying to keep us down.
Like, yeah, I know what you were researching all day. problems across the board. So let's talk Dominion now. How about we talk Dominion now? Because Dominion, in and of itself, was relatively unknown until, boom, the elections. Which we should have. We probably should have. You know, because they were talking about it, how fraudulent their systems were. You had problems in Venezuela. But they tend to hide us from world news, so that's not surprising. So, Dominion is owned by this company called Staple Street. And Staple Street received $400 million in October before the election. Interesting, right? So, and they had received...
I needed some tax write-off, Sarah. I had to dump the money somewhere.
Right? Yeah, it had to go somewhere. So 1 month before the election, the parent company gets this $400 million donation. Why? So Staple Street Capital is a private equity firm, and it was founded in 2019. It purchased Dominion in 2018. Dominion software came from the Diebold company, which was just a horrible company, had problems across the board. It ended up faltering. All the tech was bought up by Dominion. Dominion gets bought up by Staple Street. So that's the way our corporations go in America. You know, one falls, other one picks it up, takes the technology, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So on November 3rd, all information on the co-founders and investment portfolio was deleted from their website. And Staple Street now shows no relation to Dominion software at all. This stuff, you know, you can't make this stuff up. This is great. The head of Dominion, they decided not to show up at the Pennsylvania House of Representatives meeting. They just decided not to show to talk about anything that was going on. The guy who is the product strategy and director, Eric Coomer, he went missing in November. His bio's deleted. He's gone. The Canada headquarters closes. The U.S. headquarters in Denver, Colorado closes. And 100 employees, or 1/3 of their workforce, is just deleted from LinkedIn, including their employees from Serbia. So it's like, why? Right? Why? Oh, I might have figured out the echo there. So yeah. So we got all that going on. Why would they do that? Why would they go so undercover like that? If they didn't have anything to hide, if they were being all transparent and everything was all good, then why is that going on? So, UBS Securities LLC. Now this gets really good here. They're the ones who paid Staple Street the $400 million in October.
Who are they?
They have two firms in existence, one based out of New York and one based out of Beijing.
Beijing. Ding, 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 ding.
They have board members that sit on the boards of both companies. And in 2020, on the previous day, 11 of the 14 board members of USB were replaced in, or UBS were replaced in China, even in Beijing. These people, when you watch the video, guys, but when they go through their backgrounds, it is just like
government.
Super CCP.
They're all like government people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sitting on the board. Or military people.
Yes, like nuclear guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is when I had to put down the dish towel.
And start really paying attention? Yeah.
Like, I can't multitask anymore.
No. And they're laden into CCP's banks, the whole banking systems. They were
like one of the few like financial firms that had like that could actually do business in China.
Yes.
And they basically had monopoly on the like corporate financial kind of stuff.
In China.
Yeah, in China, right.
Yeah. And then they come and they have a branch in New York, and they fund Staple Street, which owns Dominion.
Yeah.
Okay, so following the money here, guys. Like, okay, this is just crazy. So Tucker plays this video on Fox. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Di Dongsheng, and he is a CCP academic. He's highly involved in international relations. He's the vice dean of School of International Relations at Renmin University of China. He's a member of Xi Jinping's Brain Trust. He is all involved in the foreign strategic studies of China. And he puts out this video about how from, 1996 to 2016, all the problems that USA and China had were settled so quickly because they could basically buy anybody out. So they have their old friends, they have high power, and they can basically go and, give them as much money, and if that doesn't work, they just give them more.
That's what the guy said in that lecture. Old friends.
Yeah, old friends. Wall Street and old friends.
Yeah.
And Trump was the big problem because he didn't
play.
Right. Yeah. He didn't play the game.
Yeah.
So they will do whatever it takes to get Trump out of there and get the game being played again because they love to exploit the United States of America. They are taking us over that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to take a big breath before that because what is selling us out is our own greed.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just so sad to me. It's our own greed that is selling us out, is taking us down. It's really, really sad, guys. So China put out this basically a manual of CCP unrestricted warfare and how they were going to go about doing that, since you can't just go against the full American might militarily, that would just be a losing battle. But there's so many other ways you could basically bomb America without ever sending any missiles or anything like that. So we have biological warfare. Sound familiar at this point?
Check that box.
Check. Drug warfare. They send in tons of fentanyl, right?
Fentanyl, yeah, that's the drug. Yep.
Kills 30,000 Americans a year. Imagine if a foreign country, attacked America and it killed 30,000 people. Do you know what we would do?
Go to war.
Yeah.
They were showing Pearl Harbor.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all rallied. Even when they did the Twin Towers, people were like, yeah, there was no Democrat, Republican back there. We're all Americans back then. Remember that?
Yep.
It was like the most beautiful thing. It was sad. It was horrible. But to actually see everybody rally together and all the flags getting flown at all the houses, and
yeah,
that was so.
I'm telling you, man, it's just a bummer.
Huh?
Yeah. So that was my take. Like, imagine if somebody did that to us, we would just destroy them. But it happens every year. We don't care. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're doing the 1,000 cut thing. Like you said, the drugs, the financial systems. They're buying up real estate. They're buying up companies. They're doing corporate espionage. They steal all of our trade secrets and then just undercut us and then sell it back to us.
The public opinion warfare. They're into all the social media tech and everything now. So what's to hold them back?
Yeah.
Nothing. So China wants a world that's not going to fight back, a compliant world, so that they can do whatever they want, and nobody's going to be like, hey, And Trump finally did that. First president in 50 years who did that.
Stood up, yeah.
And so that had to go quick, Oh man, when I get into it, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. So going on with Dominion and the information behind this stuff. So who are these old friends, right? Well, we saw what happened with Hunter and all that right before the election. All the money that Biden got out of them that, in 2009, he was over in Serbia meeting with hackers so he could get more information on the voting machines. Interesting. Dominion contributed to the Clinton Foundation. And when the company Dominion, or when Staple Street Capital was registered, it was done so by Stephen Owens, Hu Tang, last name is hard to say, and William Kennard. Kennard's the important one. I mean, the other two are just as bad and just as bought and sold, but Kennard's the important one. So Kennard is now, one of the main shareholders, basically, of Staple Street Capital. And he was the chairman of the Federal Communication Group in 97 to 01. He was overseeing U.S. media. 2009 to 2013, Obama appoints him to be the ambassador of the EU. But November 7th of 2020, this year, 4 days after the election, the same guy who owns the Dominion system is appointed the chairman of the board of directors of AT&T. AT&T is our largest communications company in the United States of America. And they're not just phone. No, they're also in, they own CNN. They own Warner Brothers. Yeah, they own Warner Media, which is CNN, all your news networks. So this guy who's in charge of Dominion is now in control of the message that you're going to hear about it. Hey, can I put my tinfoil hat on? What just happened? Christmas Day, right? Yeah. In Tennessee. Right? Yeah. So I was like, what? Because when I first heard somebody say, it was an AT&T building, and that could be why it was, the bomb went off there. I'm like, what are you smoking? It's Christmas, lay off. Right. And then when you had me watch this video today, I'm like, did they just say AT&T? Yeah. And it was kind of strange how it didn't hurt. Like, it hurt some people, but it didn't kill anybody, right? No. It wasn't they played the announcement trying to clear the streets. Yes. It wasn't a mega, disaster. It wasn't aimed at all it did casualties. Was highlight the fact that AT&T had Dominion machines there. All it did was bring a spotlight to what's going on there. So I found that. I mean, that's my tinfoil hat on. But that's what I found all very interesting. When I was watching your video, the hat cinched down a little bit. Yeah, right. Not this one, though. This one, like I say, that's why I wanted to bring this one to my audience. Because the information that's stockpiled in this video is, you guys, it's good. You have to watch it. And if you don't believe it, go and research it, Yep. Use it to fuel yourself. Because, man, nobody's going to stand up for this country. It's on our shoulders. It's on our shoulders. Our forefathers aren't here. The people. It's us. That's it. It's up to us, guys. So really. Oh, I wanted to go to DC so bad on the 6th. So bad, man. I'm telling you. If I had a beam me up, Scotty, I would be there in a beat. My wife's so mad we have to commute to work. She goes, "Where are our teleporters?" The transporters? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're back to work, are you? No, but that's always her thing. Is oh, gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And that's her big thing. It's So to go on, to add insult to injury, UBS was funded by Staple Street, which owns Dominion. UBS was started by Wang Qishan, whatever, however you say it in China, in 2006. And then at the same time, through Sequoia Capital National, these two guys from China took control of the software development for Dominion, the company Smartmatic. I mean, it is so ripe with fraudulent treason. It's not even funny. Don't we?
don't we have
recourse?
a place in America? Like, isn't there like people that could actually do like great things that are like American born and bred and have, you know,
right? And we don't
could
need like foreign investment in this
provide
stuff?
voting systems, and we wouldn't have to. Shouldn't that be one of the products that we do not import
Ever?
is
Yeah.
the start to finish dealing with voting.
Well, it just doesn't matter. I mean, I don't understand how. And that was one of the questions. Why would states allow this? They knew it. And it's plain and simple because the elitists in power want to maintain that power. They don't want to give up the power. They know what's coming down the pipeline. They do not want to give America back to the people, and they want to keep everybody asleep as long as possible. Because the minute America wakes up, well, it's already happening, and it's their worst nightmare, you know? So Prominates asked, did the bomb destroy any paper trail evidence? I don't believe so. I don't even think, like, any of the buildings were hurt.
There was damage. Well, there was damage to the AT&T building, and I think I heard today that phone service was out locally.
Okay.
And I heard that AT&T was providing generators and stuff for first responders so they could keep working. Whatever was down that that AT&T
and something about like one of the main cooling systems or something for one of the big software hubs was there.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but yeah. So I think there was some local, not like widespread network, but some.
Yeah.
Not regional, but local.
Yeah. So that's what's going on there. So guys, when you get the minute, like watch this video and.
Huawei. So I was like the military's banning Huawei from like we can't use any of their like equipment. Huawei is a Chinese technical company.
Uh-huh.
But here we are, we're using their stuff for voting.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, if we could ban not using a router,
then why?
In the military, because we're afraid of getting hacked and backdoors and stuff like that. That why are we using their stuff for voting?
Right.
It should be like no.
Right.
Yeah, Huawei. I was trying to remember the name of that company.
And I'd love to play the end of this video because it is just so darn inspirational. But they have all the new copyright stuff coming down the lines, and there's so many like existential advertisements tied with it that I don't want to do that. You
gotta watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Joshua Phillip, he has his own show as well, and he does daily reports on this stuff. I believe Dan watches a lot of him as well, Dan Bongino, because a lot of the information was exactly the same. Dan's also a great guy to watch. We're not giving up, We have to. This was complete. I don't know. At this point, like, if you want to say, well, it was fair, whatever. I just can't believe it. Especially not with the statistical evidence that you can look at from the numbers that came out of Election Day. So many anomalies, and like I said, there's only so many coincidences till it's statistically impossible to have that many coincidences.
I mean, I wish it was clean, and if we lost clean, then we lost clean.
Right.
But this is ridiculous.
This is not clean. And at this point, it's like, fine, then let's just scratch everything and do a revote, and you have to show up with your ID in hand and mark your thing on the paper. That's the only way your vote's going to count at this point. Because we can't have this, and we definitely can't lose our democracy to this. I mean, if we do, it's over. Just like they say in the end of the video, it's really over. Like Stalin said, it doesn't matter who votes, it matters who counts the votes. Yep. And we can't lose.
Hey, can you imagine this globe if America isn't a free country?
No. I don't want to imagine this country. Because
it's not just America that's going to affect. There's a lot of countries that won't have us to back them, and they'll won't be able to hold their own.
My dream is that because of all this happening, and the light just getting so blasted on everything corrupt and evil that America can not only inspire its own citizens, but inspire the world to take back control for the people and let, freedom, let free market enterprise, and get rid of all this corrupt BS that's just holding everybody down when we don't need to be. We don't need to work under those elements. Have a global goal of, space travel, things like that, and be able to just move on to our next evolutionary plateau without having to go through a breakdown period. So there's a book called it's called The Watchman's Rattle, and it talks about how every evolutionary period for humans has been predicated by a huge disaster, a huge war, something of that nature, where we just destroyed ourselves in order to grow to the next plateau. And I'm hoping that because of all of this just being so illuminated and having just so many bright, brilliant people on our planet, that we can go there without having to have that period of destruction before we get there. Because I've studied enough about it to know it ain't going to be fun, Uh-oh. They all hear you typing
I just
back there.
I just found AT&T posted a message about the bombing.
Okay.
Paste.
What was
I
up?
just put it up.
Yeah, you can.
And they said,
that.
there was some regional internet connection service interrupted, but it was mostly local wireless, local internet, and local video.
Got you.
And the building did significant damage in the blast. Suffered significant damage.
Yeah. That guy. Who's that guy again? What's his name? Oh, man. I couldn't even believe that.
Here they are. They deployed 25 temporary satellite cell towers and 25 additional trailers of disaster recovery equipment across the area. Yeah.
Yeah, William Kennard.
Yeah.
William Kennard. He's the guy. So, yeah, there you go, guys. It's all tied together. Check out the video. It's worth your time to check it out. And we'll see you back next week. Hopefully, I'm going to get rallied up with some of the folks from the audio drama, and we'll try to have a fun show next time. But right now, we really have to stick to business and make sure that everything works out well here in the U.S. And if you do have the ways and means to get to Washington, D.C. on the 6th, please go. Please. Stand for your country, stand for what's good in this world. If you want to send me some extra money so I can go,
I would say also, don't forget local.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't forget your local towns and your local government and your
that's what
your
everybody
county,
was
your
talking
state,
about, going to the capitals of their own states
yeah,
too,
states
right?
and stuff. So don't, because those are the easiest to get your voice heard at.
Yes.
And
and that's exactly what I was
not
telling
everybody
my husband.
can make a showing in DC.
We're gonna have to, it's a big expenditure, and then worrying about what we're doing with my son and all that. It's just one thing after another, just coming off Christmas and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna use this as the fire to get involved, and we can't stand back anymore. Everybody's been lazy and complacent. I don't want to talk about politics and I don't want to talk about religion. You know what? Instead of being told that we shouldn't talk about it, we should have been taught how to have a conversation about it. How to talk about it in a rational manner, Yeah,
because now it's almost to the point where the far left is dominating the conversation because they're yelling so loud they won't let anybody else speak up.
Exactly. Now we're all uneducated, too. We don't have that background knowledge anymore because everybody always told us don't talk about it.
Well, we're educated, but it's
well, I'm saying on the population as a whole. The population as a whole. Yeah. How many people know more about what the heck's that person's Kim Kardashian or whatever than they do about who's the senator of their state?
I don't watch that crap.
Right? I don't know either. I'm just reaching for one that I heard. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, how many people know more about Hollywood than they do about the governing system.
I don't go to the movies either.
That they have to live under, Yeah, but you're not the majority. You're not the majority. Get out of town. That's why you're on my show.
I read those crazy books made by those prepper authors.
I know. Yeah. I get suckered into helping out.
I know, right?
Alrighty. Well, we better get going. We're at our hour here, and we made it. Even though I was ready to pack up.
Do your homework, y'all. Watch that video.
Watch that
Sarah
video.
posted it in the chat stream.
Yep.
Over on Twitch. So
Yeah,
go over there, grab that link and watch it.
If you're listening to the recording, oh boy. How do I tell people if they're listening to the recording? Let me jump over there. I'll just read it off. It's at YouTube, and it is Must Watch Revelations from the Theft of a Nation Dark to Light Documentary 2020, and it's on Whole Armor of God's channel. Whole Armor of God. And it was posted, they got a date on here because that helps.
Yeah,
December 22nd of 2020.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys go find it and check that out. I'm not doing the write-ups like I used to every podcast, so if you're just listening on the audio, go there. If you're following me on YouTube, I'll have the video up there. And if you're following me on Twitch, then you can
It's
see
already
it
in
the
there.
chat. You already got it. So, alrighty, guys. Well, that's all I got for you today. Pretty serious topic. Like I say, we got to stick to business for a little bit so we can get this straightened out, and then we'll be back to having fun and learning how to just be ready.
So we still have a country to have fun in.
That's right. That's right. We want to keep our country to have fun in. That's our main objective here, and stay free. And if you win or lose, that's on your shoulders. But at least you'll be free to make that choice. All right, Chin. Until next time, remember: dream,